Lovely. I see that it is now being streamed and I have my agenda here. So I will start off opening the meeting with the motto of the social ethic by Rudolf Steiner. The healing social life is found when in the mirror of each human soul, the whole community finds its reflection, and when in the community, the virtue of each one is living. And I did happen to put one other quote that I happen to like on here very quickly. When human beings meet together seeking the spirit with unity of purpose, then they will also find their way to each other. And that is something in these meetings that I have found again and again with you folks, is that through common mission, we always find each other. So I appreciate that very much. If anybody has any excitement here at the beginning that they would like to share, or I could take take a page out of the book of those that we are raising, rosebud or thorn. Excitement is not the only thing that is worth sharing at any given point. I would say that, right now probably has many of those things. So if anybody has anything to share, I'm open to it.
I'd like to share, well, it can be considered a rosebud or a thorn, and a thorn, which is that my mother, my dear mother, died yesterday after 60 days of hospital stay and all kinds of hopes and ups and downs and things. And she died very peacefully with all of her children around her. And I am grateful for her. My mother, Mary Kathleen Pepe, Kathy Pepe, she was a public health nurse, and she loved children and worked for the Head Start program for 30 years. And she was a great influence in my life and in my passion for children and advocating for people who maybe don't have as much of a voice for themselves. And she's just really an extremely loving mother. And I am who I am today because of all of her love through the years. And I'm going to miss that. And I just want to honor her with believing that love is it. So anyway, just want to share that.
Thank you. Anybody else in this moment?
I would just like to extend my sincere condolences to you, Julie, and my sympathies. And you're really brave to show up tonight and to share that. That is not an easy thing. So you have my full support and my condolences.
And I as well will say the same thing. I really feel like I even told the girls, I'm like, I don't know if we're hugging right now, but I feel like you really need to just give Miss Pepe a big hug and tell her that how much we love her and appreciate you. So I the same thing. Our heart goes out to you, and super sorry for your loss. I know it can be tough, and so I'm same thing. And if you need anything, please let us know. Also, just to kind of turn it around a little bit, I did have a customer come in the other day who visited Miss Lisa's stand that she has at her house, and her name's Val. She's a new neighbor in the neighborhood, and she said how cool it was, and she absolutely loved it. So keep up the good work, Miss Lisa. Everybody loves your stand.
Well, all right. I am happy to keep moving this thing along. Based on Molly's comments, she has not had the opportunity to work up the minutes from that last special meeting to a degree where it's ready for approval. So we will approve the minutes from both that past meeting as well as this current one in our next meeting. So it's on to approval of this agenda, and it is the standard agenda with the additional items at the end of, if as necessary, the discussion of back to school COVID-19 safety measures and any feelings that the staff may have any action potentially that the board may need to take, as well as talking about recruitment of new WCC members. Can I get a motion and second to approve, and then a twinkle if so?
I'll make a motion to approve.
Thank
I'll
you, Paula.
second.
Thank you, Nick. Twinkle from everybody, or a thumbs up if you are currently not. Okay, great. Thank you, Sue. All right, great. So we can move on with the meeting. And at this point, it's community comments. And this is the public's time to talk and the board's time to listen. Winterberry Charter Council does not hear complaints against students or personnel in public session. It is not the board's practice to engage in discussion or to answer questions during community comments. Commenters' names will be recorded in the minutes. Thank you. And we have a community member, if you wish to say anything. All right. So we can then move on to the informational reports, starting off with Ms. Pepe Phelps and the principal's report.
All right, I am going to share my screen and then I'll send the report. I just want to, I don't need to make excuses tonight. I know it's my one night for not making, for getting anything I need. I can imagine. All right, so here is my report. I like to start lately with the mission and vision. Our mission is growing the innate potential of each child, and Winterberry's vision is to receive the children in reverence, educate them in love, and send them forth in freedom. I have to add somebody very quickly to my report that I don't know if I can, oh, I can type in it. Maria Klein, hold on for 1 second, hybrid. This is like hot off the presses. So our staff met for our 2-day professional development back to school, last Thursday and Friday. And it was really good to see everyone. We have a whole new crop of just enthusiastic and wonderful teachers, and it was really fun to come together, to have some time to get to know one another and to remember what our foundational shared values are and the things that make us Winterberry and make us Waldorf Education, and to share those things with each other for a 2-day period, and for teachers to get their classrooms ready and all the excitement around that. So it was really great. Kindergarten first and hybrid individual meetings with teacher and families are going on now until the end of the week. And I heard in our staff meeting today that was going really well. New families are being welcomed individually, and we're giving tours because the lottery is still rolling, and we have spots in classrooms that are still being filled through lottery families. So we continue to do that. Our new amazing teachers, Margaret Mackey is our handwork teacher. Crystal Moore is our handwork TA. Those are both parents of Winterberry students. Bill Shea is our 3rd grade teacher, also a parent of Winterberry students. Jennifer Avery Fuller is our world language teacher. And Maria Klein is our new hybrid teacher. And we have an amazing woman who is our music sub until we can find a music teacher, named Molly Steller, and she's just a delight, and the children love her, and it's a wonderful. She's going to get a teaching credential. She's about to enroll in a program. Our first days have been smooth and joyful, and thank you to our faculty and staff, especially Miss Colleen and Miss Shana, who one of the last 2 days that I have not been here attending to my mother, they have been just, holding it all together, the pickup, the drop off, all the little incidentals that I usually help with, and they did it, beautifully by themselves. And just to say, my mother died yesterday. So, and I have had an outpouring of love and kindness, which really does make that it eases one's burden to know of all the love that surrounds me at all times. So I am grateful. Busy days, students are happy. I went around to every classroom today and went outside for all the things that are happening outdoors, and just everything's going very smoothly. I think everybody's really happy to be back, and it's just a very positive feel throughout the school. Teachers are getting reacquainted with their class. Miss Colleen's busy with the latest lottery, the new and returning and student registration, finishing that up. And again, like the classes are still rolling, because not all of them, some of them, because they're filling with lottery students and they have 45 or 48 hours to respond. And if they've already chosen another program, then we go to the next one. So it takes a little bit of time. Ms. Shana is getting all the requested material ordered and out to the teachers. That's really so important in the beginning, when they say, oh no, I didn't order journals, or I don't have enough this or that. And so she goes and makes it happen the next day for them. They're very appreciative of that. Mr. Johnny, a sub from last year, who is also incidentally the husband of our new world language teacher, is subbing for us for a little while, so that we can figure out what the additional needs of our staff are. And he knows the drop off, he knows the routines of our school. He is an incredible help to us all. So, and moving into, the head part of the program, Winterberry operational guidelines from ASD, which I developed with ASD guidelines, with input from our faculty, which I said at our special meeting that I was going to go to our faculty as soon as I could and talk to them in depthly about all the different elements of the guidelines, to see if they felt willing to uphold those, and what kinds of slight changes given in that same guidelines that we were allowed to do, if what we were comfortable with. So we all went through that at great length together in one of our professional development days. And then I sent to our community basically our version of that out via Blackboard, which is just, it's not through Winterberry Business, which is to everybody and friends of Winterberry. It was just to our families. Welcome to our new charter school director, Chris Barr. Chris Barr, he was formerly the principal at Rilke Schule, and now he has been chosen to replace Daryl Vincic, who has been our charter school director for years now, and he's doing a very, very good job so far, and has been very supportive in my last couple days of, he came to school here and sat in my desk, and I'm like, my desk was so messy. Anyway, he came and hung out for a while, I think yesterday, with Winterberry to see if he could lend a hand in my absence. So he's a really good person. I'm going to skip my little verse for a moment to go down to our academic models. I'm just going to read through here. Winterberry will have full-length in-person school days, as well as hybrid program option for families that choose the best model for their needs. The full school day schedule is as follows: starting Tuesday, 8/17, grades 2 through 8 came back. And then starting next Tuesday, grade 1, kindergarten and hybrid will come back. Monday, Tuesday, Friday, and oh my gosh, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, and Friday, school starts at 8:15 and ends at 3:15. And on Thursdays, as usual, school will start at 8:15 and ends at 12:30 p.m. That's to allow us to have an afternoon of our faculty and staff meeting, where we do a lot of work together in a variety of elements, which I'm happy to sometime go through for this body. Cleaning and disinfecting, ongoing and deep cleaning throughout the classrooms and the entire school daily. Physical distancing per district requirements, we will observe 3 to 6 feet in classrooms when possible. Face coverings required of all students, teachers, staff members, subs, and visitors when inside an ASD building. Face coverings are optional outside per family request. Hand washing and hand sanitizing, frequent hand washing will continue to be encouraged for all students and staff. Hand sanitizer will be available throughout the building. All meals will be eaten outdoors. We will reevaluate this for the second quarter. Classrooms will be cleaned daily. HVAC, school building ventilation systems, are running at least 2 hours before and after students are in the building. There is an air purifier, humidifier in every classroom. Student, staff, health and safety, Nurse Katrina will be on site to screen students and staff showing signs of illness. Proper isolation protocols will be in place in the event of suspected cases. Recess, mask wearing is optional outside and will be at the discretion of families for their student during outside time. Volunteers and visitors, school volunteers and visitors are welcome. Volunteers and visitors are required to follow district procedures and protocol and should not visit any ASD facility if symptomatic, COVID positive, or in quarantine. Keep Winterberry and ASD symptom-free. Keep your students home if they are exhibiting any signs of illness. Parents are strongly encouraged to have symptomatic students tested for COVID-19. The same standards apply to staff. Reporting and communication, parents are strongly encouraged to notify schools if their student is confirmed COVID-19 positive or close contact. Schools will report confirmed cases, students, and or staff using the district's online COVID-19 report format. The district will communicate findings and recommendations to affected staff and student families. Communications will be specific to individuals or groups. Testing, ASD will provide testing to symptomatic staff and students either through school nurses or a contracted provider with parent or guardian consent. Municipal sites will continue to provide testing at locations throughout the municipality. Vaccination, ASD will provide COVID-19 vaccines to eligible students with parent or guardian consent, staff, and community members through a contracted provider. The district will also continue to perform vaccination clinics to include flu and other state-required vaccinations in schools as needed. I'll just end with my little verse that I started saying beginning last year. This is a verse by Rudolf Steiner. We must eradicate from the soul all fear and terror of what comes toward us out of the future. We must acquire serenity in all feelings and sensibilities concerning the future. We must look forward with absolute equanimity to all that may come, and we must think only that whatever comes is given to us by a world direction full of wisdom. It is part of what we must learn in this age, namely, to live out of pure trust, without any security in existence, trust in the ever-present help of the spiritual world. Truly nothing else will do if our courage is not to fail us. Let us discipline our will and let us seek the awakening from within ourselves every morning and every evening.
Thank you, Julie.
Yes. Are there any questions? I'll put up this model if anybody has any questions about this.
All right, hearing none, let's move on to faculty report, and everybody can keep in mind, ain't no shame in the brevity game. So go for it, faculty report.
All right. So first of all, I would like to say that as Principal Pepe Phelps noted, we came together after the special session. I was not present, I was in Costa Rica, but I hear they came together, and some of what is bubbling up in faculty is of a great degree of relief that we are following ASD's guidelines this year, and that ASD's guidelines are being informed by CDC recommendations. So there's a great amount of relief from from staff and faculty that this is the direction that we've chosen for this year. Given that, we tried to, from the special session, hear and incorporate some of the parent input and added some additional features to what the mitigation strategies are. As Principal Pepe Phelps noted, we'll be eating outdoor only for all classes, at least for the first quarter. We're still working on gathering all the materials to help support that, tables and shelters and that sort of thing. And we also collectively worked with our schedules to strategize and increase the amount of outdoor time that all students are experiencing. So we're trying to maximize being outside as much as possible. And I think I can speak for all of us. We are all working on living into the mantra, we are flexible. We are flexible. So that's mostly what's living in faculty. Also, there's just a huge degree of excitement at being back with families and with students, and a lot of digits, fingers, toes, knuckles, knees crossed that we can stay this course and all stay healthy and well. So I will take any questions, and if not, we can move on.
We'll just ask that you be a conduit for my immense gratitude that, you know, my child comes home happy and incredibly tired.
I am more than delighted to pass that on. Thank you. All right, thank you.
Muted myself, classic. So hearing no other questions, we can move along to WPG report. If there is one to give, I don't know when last meeting was.
Peter, this is Jessie. Can you hear me okay?
Yes, we can hear you all right.
Okay, thank you. Sorry, I'm having connection problems, so I'm phoning in now. I do not have a formal report to give. WPG has not met. We will have a meeting in September, and I'll be happy to share a report at that time.
Excellent. Thank you so much. And then we would move on to committee reports. And so administrative committees that answer principal, we have safety and outdoor play space. And you can let me know if there's anything to update in that regard outside of the COVID stuff we've already talked about.
Yeah, mostly safety wise, we're just getting ourselves back on board as far as that goes for this year, and looking at all the safety protocols that we are working to put in place and maintain. I think that's about it for safety at this point. And we do have a safety committee that, you know, if anybody's interested in joining that committee, they just need to let me know. And we usually meet in the morning of the morning of the third Thursday and get a report together at that point. Outdoor play space. Well, we are adding to our repertoire of picnic tables another number of picnic tables, so that we will have places for students to sit and be able to eat their lunch outdoors. Miss Shana has put that in action, started that ball rolling. They had, you know, all kinds of, in times like this, it is just fertile ground for new kinds of ideas. And so, and though they're also wearying to be thinking things up all the time, I think from last year when it was we thought new things up every day constantly, to now it's simmered down a little bit. Everybody's still thinking up new ideas for things. And so we have a lot of really bright things and bright ideas that are coming. And the picnic tables and that outdoor eating space idea is the fruit of one of those little brainstorms. So thanks to Ms. Colleen and Ms. Shana for just trying to think good ways of doing things. So that's all is different at this point as far as the play space goes. Ooh, a thank you publicly to Hatcher Menkins, who came over as a volunteer act and mowed our knee-high by the 4th of July grass over in our field and got it all ready for the students' return this week, this Tuesday. And anyhow, it's just he's alumni, he went all through Winterberry, and so it's so sweet to see him back with the lawnmower. It's like, wow, this is great. Anyway, just a little thank you to him. And
And that should be noted in bold italics in the minutes.
Oh my goodness. This is Hatcher's mom, and I will let him know that he got a shout out in the meeting. He was happy to help. He was very happy to help. And, he loves Winterberry. He loves his old school. So thanks.
Now it's in the historic record. So we will move on to legislative policy if there's anything.
Peter, this is Jessie. I have nothing new to report. And I will also say that if there's anyone interested in joining that committee, I would welcome having a friend join me, but nothing to report today.
Great. And election committee will kind of be discussing what's important about that in regular business, so we can skip that. I can say, jumping to D, that there's nothing for grant committee now. So we would go to budget if there is a document for that at this point in time.
Yeah, there is. I sent everybody a quick budget report. Julie, if you want, you could, I don't know if you can, I emailed it to you. So would you be able to pull it up?
yes, I'll pull it up. It's going to take me a minute because I'm just going to go to my email. So just maybe start talking about it, and
I'll start
if I can.
Yep.
Okay.
Yep, I'll start talking, no worries. So closing out last year, our fiscal year 21 accounts. Currently, we still don't know the funds amount exactly because it hasn't been calculated yet by the budget. ASD budget department hasn't fully calculated it. But as I was writing this report, I did receive an email that told me that the state has calculated their final budgeted amounts for the whole district fiscal year 21. So they were able to calculate that we did, as far as our final budget fiscal year 21, they reduced our revenue amount by 15,000. Not as significant, but because a lot of our budget, each budget year is estimated until the year is over, when they actually really calculate, like in this case, it was due to the adjustment was due to the ADM count adjustments, lower than projected interest earnings, and federal impact was lower than projected. And it just wasn't just our school, it was all charter schools, it was the whole district wide, and they redistributed it to us as well. So yeah, our fiscal year 21 was decreased by 15,000. And then hopefully, I was told in that email as well, hopefully next week I'll know exactly what funds we had left for fiscal year 21 for us to roll over for this fiscal year. There it is. There's the report. And then for the update for other ESSER funds, and for some of you that aren't familiar with the ESSER funds, those are our CARES Act funds. They were dispersed in 3 different parts. Part 1 was the ESSER 1. That was the first CARES Act fund that was rolled out, that was dispersed, and we have fully used that. We used that all last year, and that count is now closed out. So that grant is done. We are now starting on our ESSER 2 funds account. The full account has been created. In that fund, currently we have 287,898. We haven't used any of it yet, because this is what we've decided we're using. We're to hire a tutor, and additional things that'll help support students, as we were looking at potentially a counselor, or continuing education to help the community for everything that has gone on from that has happened because of COVID and that stuff. So that's where we're at with that. I just found out what our ESSER 3 fund is. The count hasn't been created yet, so we have to use the ESSER fund 2 first. But our ESSER 3 fund, was allocated, we have an allocated of 491,151. So that's another good chunk that we can use. And this is, of course, funds that we can use that for students that have been because of COVID. So we can use it not just for PC, for more masks and things like that, but we can also use them for additional tutoring or aids that we need to help support any student that is lagged behind. So that's what we have there. And then finally, just student supply fees. We're starting rolling out on student supply fees again, new year. Because of registration, it's a little slow go because it's all online. They can send a check to bring a check to Miss Colleen. So far, we've only received a little over 10% of the students that have been enrolled. This is pretty average for now. I think we're probably going to work on a system to start reminding parents again about this like we do every year. Last year, of course, we declined to do too much of a push because of the economic impact that COVID has had on families. But I think we're probably going to start rolling out the reminders again. So does anybody have any questions?
I have one very short question. This is Jessie, and that's what is the duration in which the third lot of resources can be spent? When is the spend down date?
I haven't heard about the ESER 3 yet. The ESER 2, we have 2 years. The ESER 3, because it's so new, I don't want to quote yet because I don't know exactly. I wouldn't expect it to be less than the 2 years from the ESER 2. But once I know, I'll be happy to get back to everybody and find out. I can find out from Andy on when that grant expires.
Great. Thank you.
You're welcome.
And Shana, will that be the end of the federal COVID relief funding for schools, or do you anticipate more funding through the American Rescue Plan Act?
Honestly, I don't know. These were all, that depends. I mean, all of it comes from the feds. And so it depends on what package is then sent, if they're feeling the need. This was just rolled out, last year. So this is nothing of the new federal, and I haven't seen any or heard of any. That, again, that would be, Jessie might know more about that if she's heard anything in the, but I have not. So I don't know.
This is Jessie. I can say that there is a very large package currently being discussed in Congress, and some of you might recognize it from the dollar amount, $3.5 trillion package. However, I do anticipate that will be reduced. And in that, there is a huge amount that will be discussed as it relates to families and children and early care and education and likely education. So, time will tell how that package takes shape and what an impact it might have here in Alaska. That passed out of the Senate and it's now headed to the House.
Okay.
Excellent. Okay, so we can move out of reports and into business, the first item of which is recruitment of new WCC members. I did some of the base work just to know where we're at currently. And, according to the bylaws, it's supposed to have members from 11 to 13. 6 parents of enrolled students, 2 Winterberry teachers, 1 WPG, 1 Winterberry teacher or staff, and then 3 parents or community members. And so then I updated a spreadsheet based on, Megan is no longer part of it. So we're at 4 slots, which are 2 of them specific for parent and 2 of them for parent or community member. And then the process in between elections for admission to the council is simply that a majority of the existing council, not a majority of the quorum, so we do have to get to a majority of the council, so it have to be a well-attended meeting, you have to be sure, can simply vote for somebody to fill a vacancy. And then that vacancy is filled through the natural end of that term, at which time it is applicable to elections or re-elections. Also, for any existing person on the board outside of the 2-year mark, a majority of the group can vote to extend their time. What I will say, right now is that having the unexpected churn of, 2020 and early 2021, we really need to fill the pipeline as best we can. And I am hearing that there is some degree of that going on. Folks have interest and folks are being invited. If you have anybody that you know of who you think would be a good addition and has interest, or if you think somebody is a good addition and you're willing to speak to them about potential participation, I think that my experience of this group has been very, very good. Of the number of governing bodies that I've been a part of, this is an understanding one, and one that gets things done without railroading anybody. And I think that it's a great way to volunteer and do service leadership for the organization. So send them my way. And I do want to abide by the election standard of kind of somebody putting forth an interest letter, just so that we do have a record of what they're bringing to the table. And so that then I can forward that to the board, to the council, before a meeting in which the additions to the council are then voted on. But outside of that, we don't have to go through the formal election process. So referrals are best, but I will, if we're still looking at being short, probably open it up to wider community and look in the coming weeks at doing messaging around that. So anyway, that was my kind of status check of where filling some of those vacancies we're at. Want to get those 4 filled. If anybody has any thoughts or checking me on my assumptions that can always be wrong, who have better history with the group, those sorts of things, I'm very happy to hear that. And then also, if Miss Diane wants to speak at all, because I know that her being here is interest in potentially being part of the group, I'm willing to hear anything from the group at this time.
I would just say that it would be really nice to have a little more diversity on the body. So if there's any way we can identify people, parents or otherwise, who could bring some diversity to the group, I think that would be a really good thing to do. And I don't have anybody off the top of my head that I'm thinking of, but I feel like I'm going to think about that a little more and see if I can, come up with some ideas. But, maybe, Julie or Lisa, you're in the school every day, you might have a better sense of recruitment possibilities. So that's what I would encourage.
They won't let me talk.
Oh, we can hear you, Miss Diane.
You can hear me. Well, no, I have to apologize. This is my very first Zoom meeting. So these are all my technical support people.
I am the most jealous I have ever been in my life.
I will say that I'm here because I'm interested in doing anything with Winterberry and anything that I could provide. I have a long history in Waldorf education. I helped the founding folks write the charter back in the day. and have loved both receiving and gaining children in the kindergarten and preschool from Winterberry. I'm a big fan. And as you know, I know Peter and I know Lisa, I know Molly, I know so many Winterberry students. I don't offer much that you don't all have in spades. Lots of depth of Waldorf education. I run a home program now, really successfully. The Stover family has come through it. I'll have Ven again this year. Anyway, so that's who I am, and I will write a letter of interest. I think Mark provided a biography or a little letter, introductory letter for me, but I probably won't stay for your whole meeting today, but I just wanted you to see my face and say a little something. And maybe I'll figure out how to mute myself now. But if anyone has any questions, I will not mute myself. Is that what I don't do? I don't mute myself. I'll listen to your questions.
I would just like to say, Diane, that is very exciting news. So thank you for being present. And yeah, that's very exciting news to me that you're interested in participating with Winterberry more now again.
Thank you. Okay.
I echo that. That would be a great honor to this school to have you a part of this WCC and have a sense. We have these wonderful parents who come so willingly and so generously and give themselves. And it is so important that we keep our eye on what Waldorf education is about at its heart, and that we continuously educate our parents that are new to the board and parents that have been on the board for a while who maybe don't know as much about Waldorf education, so that they can make the decisions that they will need to for the school, the health of the school, and the things that that the founding vision had in mind. So I think it's a wonderful opportunity for us.
Okay.
Yeah, I appreciate it so much. I'm a great example of what you just said, and also why normally referrals are best for building out the kind of governing board you want for an organization. Putting it out to the community, I just heard that there was a desperate need and stepped up with only knowing that I love having my kids in Waldorf education. I do have a nonprofit like governance history. So anyway, referrals are best. And so if we can get 2 or 3 folks, that would get us to the number we'd want. I would love to vote on people next month and move forward with that. So be thinking about it and sending me any contacts you have. And thank you, Ms. Diane, for being present tonight. It's a joy to see your face.
Thank you for considering me.
Okay, if there is any further discussion of the back to school COVID-19 safety measures, I'm open to it, but I feel like in both staff report and principals, faculty report and principals report, that was discussed. But because it is an item still in business, I just want to acknowledge that it's there. So if you have anything, you can please speak up at this moment. Beautiful. So we can end. I am very proud of this group for having such an effective, fast-moving meeting so that Ms. Peppy Phelps can get back to her life. If you have any, oh, go ahead.
So I just have one addition that I'm going to put on my principal's report and send it out into the group. And I left off in my fuzzy mind these days, which is a heartfelt thank you to Kelly DeFort, who has worked throughout the summer to put our Winterberry family handbook in a beautiful form. Have the content, and it went out, the teachers reviewed it, and just when we came back together, and she has taken her gift for everything, writing and all those wonderful ways of putting things together, and has put this book together for us, which has gone to press, and we will have in our hands a beautiful handbook and also on our website. I mean, beautiful, aesthetically beautiful, and then also the words that have been reviewed of the things that we do, who we are at Winterberry and what we do, and a guide for new families and a reminder for families that have been with us for years. So thank you, Kelly, very, very much.
And what a wonderful segue to the gratitude that we end these meetings with. If other folks have things they are also thankful for.
This is Jessie. I just want to share a huge thank you to all of our faculty and to the support staff for our school and everyone who's just involved in making it run so smoothly. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for everything that you do and the care that you bring to your work each and every day.
I'll also echo what Jesse was just saying. I have never seen my kids so excited to wake up at 6:45 every morning so that they can get to school. And this is new to me because they're usually up before I am now. And they're just so excited to be back and really appreciate all you guys. And also, I was kind of had a special guest here at work. Mr. Lind actually told me to say hi to you guys, and that he got himself a new to him car, and he's super excited. And he just wanted to say hi to everybody, and that he misses all you guys, and just wanted to reach out and say hey.
That's really funny, Nick, that you mentioned that, because we were coming through the Anchorage airport the other night, and there was a big billboard for the Anchorage School District, and there was a huge picture of Mr. Lind on it. So it was like, welcome back to Anchorage. But anyway, my girls are also super excited to be back at school. Like, they're thrilled. And I'm just really happy that, things are where they are right now. Let's hope they continue to go in the right direction. But just enormously grateful to the faculty and staff for pulling this off yet again, and for all the heavy lifting and the curiosity, like Julie, you were mentioning, just having to come up with new strategies every day and how exhausting that is. But you're doing a great job, so thank you so much.
I am grateful for this group, as well as staffs and organizational leadership's ability and willingness to move forward with bravery and fortitude as uncertainty continues, but decisions need to be made. It is tough to be the decision makers and those who then have to make those decisions a reality. So I really, really appreciate that. Thank you. Beautiful. Well, I appreciate everybody's time here, and I don't remember. I suppose we probably move to adjourn. So let's
Jessie, and I make
stand
a
on.
motion to adjourn.
I'll second it.
I think I stepped on you. I'm sorry. This is Jessie, and I make a motion to adjourn.
And I've seconded.
You only stepped on a terrible joke about standing on ceremony. So now we can all twinkle and let everybody twinkle on into their twilight evening. Enjoy yourselves. Thank you so much, everybody.
Twinkling. Thank you. Well done, Peter. Thank you.
Thank you so much. I'm happy to fulfill